highlighting the female career opportunities in digital empowerment and STEM. FEMCodes aims to promote women in technology. This initiative was started by Kamal Mehreen, who is the co-founder along with Mariam Jamil. So let's proceed to our session. The agenda of today's session is about what is CERN internship program, what is the eligibility criteria, what is the application timeline, and what's the procedure to apply, essential documents, tips for LORs, and last but not least, we have tips from our CERN alumni of 2023. So now I will hand over the remaining session to our esteemed guest speaker, Fatima Zulfiqar. Over to you, Fatima.
I was muted. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so can you move the slides or do I have control? Just skip to the next one. I'll cover it there. Okay, so first, I'm Fatima Zulfiqar. I work at CERN in their open science repository system. I work for a project called Zenodo, which is basically an open research data repository. Now, I think I'll start with the brief overview of what CERN does. CERN was basically established as a research organization after World War II in 1954, basically to create a place for different scientists and different people to collaborate with one another in the field of particle physics. Some of the important things that you should know about CERN, if people don't know, is that their main focus is the particle accelerator, which is the Large Hadron Collider. Even in the logo, you can see the ring, which depicts the Large Hadron Collider. It is 27 kilometers long and it is beneath the ground. The purpose of Large Hadron Collider, it basically ejects two proton beams which collide head-on, which in a head-on collision produce different particles, one of which was very important, called the Higgs boson particle, as I think most people know about it. I assume if you know about CERN, you know about Higgs boson. It was also called the God particle. It has nothing to do with how great it was. It was supposed to be called God damn particle, but वो बहुत controversial हो गया था, so they call it God particle. Next, another thing which is not mentioned here is very important is that World Wide Web was created at CERN basically to allow collaboration between the scientists, but now it has revolutionized the IT world. CERN basically is, you could say, is a small country on its own. It's located on the France and Swiss border, but they have their own laws, their own rules. There are people from 100 different nationalities working at the same time. I would say 16,000 people containing of CERN users, CERN employees, and everyone. So all in all, it's a very diverse place in terms of culture, traditions, even in science. It's basically for physics, but you can find people from all backgrounds. There are engineers here, administrative people here, everything. So CERN is basically a diverse set of small, I think, organization. Member states. Now, the way CERN makes money is through its member states and associate member states. It has 23 member states, which are mostly European countries with a lot of funding. Now, people who cannot fund that much, they are part of the associate member states. Pakistan is one of the associate member states of CERN, and it was a very big achievement back in, I actually don't remember when we became the member state. And yeah, the main purpose of CERN is basically to discover you would say, the particle world, how the different particles interact, how they exist, the fundamentals of why we exist and how we exist. And the work at CERN, it's basically open, you could say, for everyone. The research they do, everything is, I'm used to the word open source. I don't know how do you say it in terms of research, but yeah, it's collaborative, it's open, it should not be used. Their purpose is that none of their research should be used for nuclear military purposes, so everything is available for everyone to work on. Next slide. So these are a few programs that you can apply to being a student. some after being a student. One is the CERN Technical and Administrative Student Program. This is one of the programs that you apply to when you are in the last year of your university. So it's a 1 year long internship, you could say. You're given a good stipend, you collaborate in different projects. Everyone is given a certain project, a supervisor to report to. And most of the programs are like that. The way they differ is the duration of the contract and the process of how you apply and how you get selected. A few of these will be covered by me. I will cover the graduate program because I'm working in that one. Raiqa will cover the summer student, and Zeeshan will cover the OpenLab summer student program. Next slide. Okay, so these two are one of the programs that you can apply to while being an undergraduate student. Well, I think after second year, you can apply to it. It's a 3 months long internship, and everyone is given a supervisor and a specific project that you are assigned that you have to complete over the course of your internship. They both differ in the selection process, so I'm not part of those, so I cannot tell you much more about it, but I think it will be covered later. Next slide. Now, OpenLab program. The difference between OpenLab and summer student is that summer student, you can be from different background, be it administrative, IT, physics, engineering, you can become a summer student. But OpenLab, this one is specific for IT people because CERN OpenLab is basically a collaboration between different partners, which includes, I think, Google, IBM. There are different R&D projects with many big companies. So if you're an IT student, OpenLab summer student program is basically, it will be very good for you. And it's similar to summer student. You can also be a summer student while being from the IT background. So both are different in how they are specialized. Now I'll hand over to Raiqa.
Yeah. Hi, so I'm Raiqa Rasool, recent graduate from PIAS, and I just completed my internship, 3 month internship at CERN as a summer student, and currently I am working as a full stack software engineer at Orbisoft. So next slide. Okay, so first of all, I will be discussing the eligibility criteria for both summer student and OpenLab. So the thing is, for applying to either of them, you should have completed like at least 3 years of your bachelor's, and so you have like you are about to graduate. Actually, it was the case for me. Like I applied in my last year, and I went for internship after completing my bachelor's. So. Okay, so this point it is discussing that thing that like you have to be like either stay registered at a CERN or you are going to graduate like as it is mentioned that before the May, and you have not worked at CERN. Yeah, that's one of the like requirements of it, that you should not be have worked there as either like as a technical student, summer student, or OpenLab. You can get selected for like any of these programs only once. And then for English, I would say that you don't have to have any kind of IELTS certificate or something like that. If you are quite good with the like communication, you are comfortable with it, they normally ask for the level of English you have, and it's like B1, B2. I think B2 is quite good level to have. So if you have not given any kind of test yet, you can just go on any random website and give a small test to just have a like have an idea that okay, this is the level that I have, and then just select it there. So it does not matter that much. So next slide, please. Okay, so the thing like what will you gain from this experience? First of all, you will be it depends on you that whenever when you are filling form, they ask you that for how long you want to do this internship. So you can select any of the period like duration. You can be the 8, 13, or like anything, any duration in between them. So and then for the physics students, it's really especially the summer student program, it's like mainly focused on physics. And then for like a part of the program there are also computer science students. Like for me, it was the case that there were 300 summer students programs, and out of them only 40 were from computer science background, and so other were like physics, or some of them were from the physics and computer integration, like something like they were from the different backgrounds, not from computer science. And then the biggest like it's like uh, the salary or something that you get on the daily basis is like 92 franc, and yeah, it is like a net of tax, like your tax are already excluded, so you can just multiply it on 30 to have an idea, okay, this much I will be paid. And then travel allowance, you will be also paid that the amount that you will spend on ticket and everything, but the thing is that you will be paid it after you will arrive there. So you will have to arrange everything on your like you have to arrange everything on your own before coming. They will pay you after being there. And then the yeah, you are also like given a health insurance scheme, but I did not use it, so I can't give it that much of idea, but you have it like as their policy. And then assistance to find accommodation, like for me it was like it was too easy, because for the summer students at least, what they do is that they ask you can they have slots empty for you in the hostel, so you have to just contact the hostel and ask them, okay, I want the this from this to this. So it's like it's too easy. So that's the thing that I really liked about this summer student program, that it's the best way if to of giving you an exposure of how like giving you an exposure if you are going abroad for the first time. Like for me at least, it was the case that I was going for the first time, so accommodation, how things will go about like the food and everything, you don't have to worry that much about it. They make everything easy for you. So next slide, please. Okay, so now the thing comes about the dates and the deadlines. So the deadline for it is mainly that you have to apply. Okay, so it is saying the 23, but it's like 30th of January 2024. You will have to apply for it. But I would advise that what I did, I remember that I submitted my application on the 1st of January. So it's better to apply, like submit your application earlier. No, I don't think that it matters that much, but it's like it gives you room to okay to think and to write and proofread. So it's better to start your application earlier. And then another tip I will give here is like just fill the application form with dummy data and see all the pages that you will have to fill, so that you can get the idea, okay, this is the material that I will have to prepare, because it is different for both summer student and OpenLab. You will have to write different documents and different content within different sections. So it's better to just have a look of the application form. So I remember what I did is that just took a screenshot of the application form and had it with me, so that I can I know that how much I will have to write, and then I can do proofreading and everything. So next slide. In the last slide, I forgot to mention that the selection, they said that it will be done by March. And I remember that it was March when I got my email, the acceptance email. So, okay, now coming to the part that what are the what application documents are required. So first of all, it's like you will have to have a CV, and the further detail and on the tips and how you should prepare it and everything. Zeeshan will be providing a detail on it. And then cover letter. For me, I did not write any cover letter. For me, it was like just a section in which you have to explain the motivation for applying to job in 1400 characters, not words. And similarly, I had to write a little bit about okay, which domain I am interested in, and then the experience I have in it. So every section, it was limited to the 1400 characters. So that's I did not have to write any cover letter, but I think maybe for the OpenLab you have to write it. For me, summer student, I did not write it. So academic transmit, again, you will be given a detailed on it later. And then letters of recommendation, a detail will be coming later too. But for me, the tip I will give her here is like have a recommendation letter from your professor. But if you could have it from an employer, under whom you worked, that would be amazing. Because for me, I submitted 2 recommendation letters. You need 2 recommendation letters, and then one of those was from my professor, and then the other I got it from an employer. Like it was a startup I was working with, like it was a journal startup I was working for them as a part-time student. So I asked them to give me a recommendation letter. And then portfolio, I did not submitted any, so I'm not sure about that part. And then language proficiency certificate, they don't ask for it. So if you, because I did not submit it, so if you don't have it, it's fine. But if you have it, maybe you can upload it among extra documents. And then proof of enrollment. Okay, I don't remember submitting any kind of proof, because your transcript can pretty much give idea about. But they sometimes they confirm it. For me, they confirmed it. Okay, you will be graduated by this or before that, to just like check my eligibility. So if you can attach a proof of enrollment, I think that would be a good idea. And then photograph, you have to like add it on your profile, and then application form. That's the like main part. And okay, yeah, I think that's it from me. I think no, Zishan will be doing it.
Okay, thank you so much, Raiqa. Can you please move to the next slide? Okay, so my name is Zeeshan Memon, and I'm currently in my final year and doing Bachelor's of Software Engineering from NUST Islamabad campus. So I would be briefly speaking about your CV and motivation letters. I think your CV is the most important part in your application because मैं बहुत excited था कि at the very first day I asked my supervisor that what was the reason you selected me, and then I got to know the process because जो भी applications हम submit करते हैं इन सारों की ना एक combined database होती है. I think for OpenLab there were around 1800 applicants, out of which 30 select होते हैं. So basically हर supervisor के पास आपकी database का access होता है and they do keyword searching. So the main thing which I would like to highlight here is that you have to focus on keywords. Like आपकी CV जो है वो perfect representation होनी चाहिए on which technologies you are working. For example, for me, I was working in the domain of machine learning. So it was really important कि मैंने किस architectures के साथ काम किया and which kind of data I am dealing with. Because if someone is looking for you at CERN, तो उनके पास इतना टाइम नहीं होता कि they go through everyone's application. So basically keyword searching is the methodology they use to select the students, especially for OpenLab. So I would say कि अपनी CV को इस तरह से बनाए. I would recommend कि use latex format क्योंकि generally वो ज़्यादा optimized होती है and I think just computer science domain में they prefer this latex format. मैंने आगे वाली slides में link भी add कर दिया है. But main thing to highlight here is add your projects, add your GitHub profile. But the main thing is कि जो skills आप use कर रहे हैं और जिनके साथ आपका experience है and whatever domain you are working, so highlight your keywords properly. And the next thing is I would say also highlight your CGPA. I think it plays some role because it shows your consistency somehow. कम CGPA होना बिल्कुल भी eligibility कम नहीं करता, but I think if you have a good CGPA, I think highlighting it will benefit you. Please move to the next slide. Okay. So for motivation letter, सो इसमें भी यही टिप्स हैं कि फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल जो आपका एक्सपीरियंस है, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आपने अपनी स्किल्स और रिलेटेड प्रोजेक्ट्स यू हैव ऑलरेडी एडिड दोज इन योर सीवी. So it is the time to reflect on your personality in your motivation letter. So you have to explain that what was your trajectory, like आपने पहले किस पे काम किया था and what things you are really interested. And I would recommend कि आप पिछले साल मतलब 2023 if you are applying for 2024, 2023, 2022 के OpenLab projects को ज़रूर visit करें. Almost 70 to 80% of projects are same. For example, अगर यहाँ इस year 2023 में जो 31 projects थे, तो I'm pretty sure कि 25 projects जो हैं वो at least 2024 summer के लिए भी होंगे. For example, there are some projects related to machine learning on FPGAs. और ये projects last 6 years से चल रहे हैं. और similarly the team which I was part of, fast simulation, ये भी 2 years से चल रही है and they are pretty sure क्योंकि ये project 2029 तक last करना है. तो आई वुड सजेस्ट कि आप ज़रूर ओपन लैब के प्रोजेक्ट्स विजिट करें एंड देन अलाइन योर मोटिवेशन लेटर with those projects. I think this really helps. Or I have asked my colleagues as well, or almost like I would say हम 30 थे तो हम में से 10 to 15 ने यही methodology adopt की थी to visit previous projects and then make a strong alignment of your research or your skills with those projects. So please move to the next slide. ओके, रिकमेंडेशन लेटर के लिए जैसे रायका ने मेंशन किया, सो इफ़ यू आर टेकिंग इट फ्रॉम योर प्रोफेसर तो इट शुड हाईलाइट दैट what were your strengths and weaknesses. Like it should be very personalized. I would recommend कि अगर आप किसी प्रोफेसर से रिकमेंडेशन ले रहे हैं एंड इट इज लाइक दिस के मैंने इसको ये कोर्स पढ़ाया है एंड ही हैज स्कोर्ड ए इन दिस क्लास, आई थिंक वो आपको कभी भी हेल्प नहीं करेगा. आस्क योर टीचर्स टू राइट पर्सनलाइज्ड रिकमेंडेशन लेटर फॉर यू. And if you have someone like from industry and you have worked with, I think that is super beneficial because that will actually highlight your professional skills. So recommendation letters मैंने भी 2 upload किए थे. One was from my professor with whom I worked on research projects, so there was a strong connection that what my strengths are और मेरा research करने का तरीका क्या है. And second one was from my supervisor. Like I also had 2 projects with him. तो आपका रिकमेंडेशन लेटर है वो आपकी स्ट्रेंथ्स को प्रॉपरली हाईलाइट करना चाहिए. सो अवॉइड जनरल रिकमेंडेशन लेटर. सो आस्क योर प्रोफेसर, रिक्वेस्ट योर प्रोफेसर्स टू राइट द पर्सनलाइज्ड वन फॉर यू. प्लीज मूव टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. हम के ट्रांसक्रिप्ट्स तो आप अनऑफिशियल ट्रांसक्रिप्ट ही सबमिट कर सकते हैं, मतलब इसका इतना इशू नहीं होता बिकॉज बेसिकली ट्रांसक्रिप्ट्स का कोई ऐसा नहीं है कि आपका कोई CGPA थ्रेशोल्ड वगैरह. दे जस्ट वांट टू कंफर्म कि आप एलिजिबल हैं या नहीं और आपके कितने क्रेडिट आवर्स हो गए, जस्ट टू कंफर्म कि आप अपने 3rd ईयर में, आई थिंक दिस इज द रिक्वायरमेंट फॉर ओपन लैब कि आपके 6 सेमेस्टर्स कंप्लीट हों एटलीस्ट. एंड यस, नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. आई थिंक या ओके, ये वही स्लाइड है जो मैं ऑलरेडी मेंशन कर चुका हूँ कि फोकस ऑन योर की अचीवमेंट्स एंड कीवर्ड्स बिकॉज इनिशियल सिलेक्शन आपकी जो है वो कीवर्ड्स पे ही होती है. आई वुड से शॉर्ट लिस्टिंग. वंस आपकी शॉर्ट लिस्टिंग हो जाती है देन दे मूव टुवर्ड्स मोटिवेशन लेटर एंड योर अदर क्रेडेंशियल्स एंड दे विल विजिट यू. एंड इंटरव्यूज, यस, फॉर लाइक वी वर 31 ओपन लैब स्टूडेंट्स और हम में से 6 to 7 स्टूडेंट्स का इंटरव्यू हुआ था. So it depends from supervisor to supervisor. Some are really interested in having interviews. For example, दो से 3 candidates होते हैं and if they are confused, so they will ask for interviews for sure. In my case, yes, मेरा interview हुआ था and like we were 3. Like उन्होंने पहले 3 shortlist किए थे and then there was interview stages. So in open lab, I'm pretty sure that it depends from supervisor to supervisor. I'm not confirm about summer student program. If you know something, Raiqa, about interviews.
Yeah, for us, it's like they don't interview us. We just have to submit the application form and that's it.
Okay, please next slide. Okay, so over to Fatima.
Okay, so I saw a lot of people joined late. Anyways, so I'll talk about the graduate program, which comes after you have done your bachelor's, ya phir master's. So this is something that you can join either way. You just have to be done with your degree. Next thing is so important. That's one of the limitations of this program. Ki aapka job experience should be less than 2 years. If it's more than 2 years, you're not qualified for it. So bachelor's degree, master's degree, but work experience should be less than 2 years. 0 bhi ho sakta hai, but preferable you have some work experience. So if all of you, if anyone is about to graduate, you should focus on this. It's basically 2 to 3 years of job contract because CERN mein you don't get permanent employment. There are very few of those contracts jo ki bahut jo log saalon se serve kare unko milta hai. Usually all the people at CERN are serving through some contract, different years ka. So this one is graduate, iske baad you become the staff member. So yeah, 2 to 3 years, you get a good salary, benefits, everything. And yeah, ISCA process is kind of like a job process. You apply up applications, and like Zeeshan mentioned, yes, do focus on your CV and make a parsable CV. ये जो Canva or different जगह से designs होते हैं, don't take those. Make a parsable CV that they can do search on. क्योंकि उनके पास इतनी एप्लीकेशंस आती हैं, दे डोंट हैव टाइम कि वो हर एक को खोल खोल के देखें कि अच्छा इसका प्रोफाइल अच्छा है, अच्छा जो जो उनको चाहिए होते हैं, दे जस्ट राइट दोस्त जो भी ऊपर टॉप पे आती हैं, देखे ओके दिस इज मोर मैचिंग टू आवर प्रोजेक्ट नीड्स एंड दिस इज मोर मैचिंग। ग्रेजुएट प्रोग्राम के ये होता है कि इस तरह एप्लीकेशंस नहीं खुलती जैसे समर स्टूडेंट्स की खुलती हैं कि देयर इज अ टाइम ड्यूरेशन जिसमें हम ग्रेजुएट्स लेंगे। नो, इट्स वेरी प्रोजेक्ट डिपेंडेंट। अब किसी भी प्रोजेक्ट में जगह खुलती है तो दे पुट अप अ पोस्ट ऑन देयर करियर वेबसाइट के वी नीड अ, इसको पहले फेलोज कहते थे, जूनियर फेलोज, नाउ इट्स कॉल्ड ग्रेजुएट। तो यू शुड कीप चेकिंग एंड ब्राउजिंग द वेबसाइट, क्योंकि जब भी कोई प्रोजेक्ट में खुलता है तो आफ्टर 2-3 months वो नए ग्रेजुएट्स की हायरिंग देते हैं। नेक्स्ट थिंग, इसमें इंटरव्यूज ज़रूर होता है बिकॉज इट्स अ जॉब, तो वो प्रॉपर इंटरव्यूज आपके लेते हैं, विच इज़ अगेन सुपरवाइजर डिपेंडेंट। कुछ के सुपरवाइजर्स ने 3-4 इंटरव्यूज लिए थे। टेक्निकल क्वेश्चंस होते हैं, टेक्निकल असाइनमेंट्स दी थी, कुछ का इतना नहीं था, तो इट्स वेरी डिपेंडेंट ऑन द सुपरवाइजर इफ ही लाइक्स यू कि यू आर मोर फिट टू आवर प्रोजेक्ट। कभी कभी होता है कि आप सारी टेक्नोलॉजी से यू आर नॉट मैचिंग, सो डोंट लेट दैट हिंडर यू, क्योंकि अगर आपको इनमें से कुछ भी आती है एंड यू हैव मोर ऑफ अ लर्निंग एटीट्यूड एंड वो आपके प्रीवियस इंटर्नशिप्स या प्रोजेक्ट से देख सकते हैं कि दिस पर्सन कैन डू इट, तो दे कैन स्टिल हायर यू। तो इस वजह से ये नहीं कि अप्लाई नहीं करना कि ओहो इसमें 6-7 चीज़ें लिखी हैं जिसमें से मुझे सिर्फ 3 आती हैं। Just apply, it's rest up to them. Next, yeah, I guess that's it. If you have any questions, I think we'll take them in the end. Now over to Raiqa.
Okay, so I will be discussing a few tips from my side. So it's like about the projects, and always make sure to give detailed description on your projects. But because the thing is, especially for the summer student program, they don't interview you. So your CV are the details you are giving. It should show the complete description about the projects. It's that just mentioning the name of the project will not be enough. So the two tips to do it is that you can either add GitHub links, that would be great, and add the GitHub links with a README file that will be having a like complete description on each of the project. Or if you don't have the GitHub links for the project, it's like you did it for a company or something that you can publicly make it available publicly, so you can just use the CV. And like you can make up, like normally it's said that it's better to have a CV of only one page, but the thing is like because they are not interviewing you, so if you are increasing the length of your CV a little bit to explain each of the project, especially mention each all the technologies you are using in your project, and then the major features that you have in that particular project. So and so make sure to explain it either in your CV or experience sections if you can't, if you cannot add the GitHub links. So just be sure about explaining that part. And then personalized motivation, as Zeeshan also said, that do your research and then relate your motivation with what they are doing or what are their goals or something, because it tells them that you are really into it and you really want it. So you did some research on it, and it's not that just you just apply to it. So write a personalized motivation. It should show your personality, and it also should also show that okay, that's the reason I am interested in CERN. This is how it resonates with my interests. Okay, and then I would say that broaden your opportunities as much as you can, because all of these programs are competitive and you can never be sure that this time I will be selected or not, because there are like a crowd of talented people applying from all over the world. So you have a really tough competition. So broaden your opportunities by applying to as many programs as you can. Like for me, I applied to the summer student program and OpenLab both. So first I got acceptance from summer students, so definitely I could not get it from the OpenLab. So but I also applied to these programs too, like EPFL and ETH. They also offer summer internship. So apply to those two. Then RIPS, it's a research institute for physics and something. So it's an American institute. So then internship, it's in Austria. And all of these I am mentioning, they are fully funded one. They fund you for everything, like starting from your travel allowance and your living accommodation. And so OIST, it's in Japan, but it's a great opportunity to have, like if you are interested in continuing your PhDs, particularly from Japan, because OIST, if you search for it, it's like one of the great institutes in research. So if you have done a PhD there, it increases your chances. Oh, if you have done your internship there, it increases your chances of getting into the PhD. And similarly for EPFL and ETH, it is also a thing. If you got lucky to get summer internship there, then it will be really easy for you to have like get into master's program or something, because you can mention it, okay, this is the program I did there, and I did these things, and I like this instructor, and I would like to continue working with them. And then MLH, it's Major League Hacking. It's an open source like kind of thing, so you can explore it further. So it's an online program, but again, it's really competitive, and it is a really great thing to have in your CV, something like Google Summer of Code. And then Max Planck internship, they also offer this like internship, so you can also, and I would suggest that apply to as many programs as you can, so that if you get, because all of them are really competitive. Like for internship, their selection criteria, I think is 2%. And similarly for the CERN summer student program, there were 8,000 students, and they selected only 300 out of them. So 8,000 applications were there. So all of them are really competitive. Just try for each, and you can, if you could get lucky and got any of those, it will be it will really add a great value to your CV, and will open many opportunities for you. So as a student, take its benefit as much as you can, because once you are graduated, you get limited, that you can apply to only particular things that have, okay, you are graduate. But as a student, there are many opportunities. You just have to look for them and apply for them. Like there, I think for the EDH, you can even apply after your second year, but for other, most of them you can apply in your third year. So that's it. Broaden your opportunities as much as you can. So if you are, so that if you are getting rejection from one, you can just like, okay, we can, there are still options. So it's better to have backup plans. So that's it for me. So I said.
So there are few frequently asked questions. So I will ask one by one from Fatima. How can I apply and become the strongest candidate even if I haven't completed a research internship?
Okay, the strongest candidate for that, if I talk in terms of summer student programs, I know people that haven't done many internships or research focused internships, still they are there. It's all about your application, how you present yourself. If you present like, for example, I know people जिन्होंने इतना नहीं किया हुआ before coming here, but उनकी application was very strong, their motivation letter was very strong, their letter of recommendation, and they showed a learning attitude, because supervisors होते हैं कि सिखा वो किसी को भी लेते हैं, like इतना काम इस तरह का नहीं होता कि ओहो we need just specific people जिनको ये सब आता है. It's a learning program, it's a program to make people come to CERN to learn about CERN. तो वो they are not looking for कि बहुत specific skill set चाहिए हमें, but it's good to have internships. आपके पास internships हो, research focus ना भी हो, but in your field, किसी भी field में, like if you have some skill set, it's good to have. But otherwise, yes, just do good on your application, so to cover up के आपने पहले इतना नहीं किया हुआ. So I guess that's it.
Next question is from Raiqa. I am a physics student currently learning computational physics at a coding school. What steps can I take to strengthen my profile?
Yeah, I think it's already a great step that you are taking, that you are a physicist and learning coding already, because that's something CERN do. They bring physicists there and then they teach them how to code. So that's already a good addition to your profile. But I would say uh, how you can strengthen your is that just make, because the people applying there, most of them have high GPA. So you have to stand out somehow. It can be either by your lab research experience or coding, the way you mentioned that you are getting some coding experience, and just build something in it, or just have something to show that will stand you out either through like internships or doing projects or something that will help you with standing out.
So next question is from Zeeshan. What expenses might I need to bear myself when I applying for the internships?
Nothing. Everything is funded. Like your travel allowance is funded, and you will be paid 90 francs per day, and they are more than enough to live easily there. So yes, everything is funded. You don't have to worry about this.
Next question is from Fatima. Is it possible for students in their final year to submit the applications?
Yes, if you like, while during the duration of internship, if you're still a student at your university, so you can like final year may you submit during the summer for summer student and OpenLab, so you can. And इसके बाद technical student and administrative student भी होता है, वो भी final year of university में आप करते हो. Okay, you don't take a break from your university, you are still a student there. तो एक साल आप यहाँ internship भी करें while also continuing your studies back there. So yes, you can apply well in a final year.
This question is for you, Raika. What is the competition level and acceptance rate for these internships?
So I would again say that it's really competitive. Like I mentioned that there were 8,000 applications for summer student program, and they selected like just 300 out of them. And for Zeeshan, as he mentioned, that there were 1,800, I guess, applications, and 30 they selected only 30. So it's really competitive, but it's like there is nothing. You will not have any kind of loss on applying. So just try it. What the worst can happen? You will be rejected. So don't just look at the acceptance and be like, I'm not getting into it anyway, so what is the purpose of applying at all? Just go for it, just apply. So like just think of it as the way like I don't want to have any kind of regret, like what if I had applied. So just apply to it without thinking about the competition and acceptance.
Okay, are there any specific programs related to city and regional planning, Zishan?
I'm not sure about city and regional planning, but I think there were some programs related to civil engineering and environmental engineering, and they were doing some projects related to emissions or something related to that, but I'm not sure about city and regional planning. Yeah, not sure if someone knows Raika or Fatma.
Yes, I guess there are. Like I said, there are many, like more, I say in number, there are physics related things here, but Baki her domain may they have people. So I think that I've seen people who are in that department. Just go on their career website, तो आपको सारी details मिल जाएंगी किस domain में they're looking for people.
Okay, so I would say thank you to all of our speakers and to take out your time and give us brief explanation of this program. Now I would ask the participants to ask your questions in chat, or you can raise your hands to ask from our esteemed speakers.
No, university does not matter at all. Because इतने countries के लोग apply कर रहे होते हैं, very unlikely कि CERN would keep a track कि QS ranking में कौन सी किधर है. They don't care about it.
So I think about the credit hours, like you should have completed at least your 6 semesters for applying to OpenLab or summer student, and or you can be in your final year, something like that. So that's the criteria. I'm not sure about credit hours. They did not mention it in the form of credit hours. They said that you should have completed your 6 semesters at least.
As Fatma mentioned, there are few, just confirm it from their career website if they are looking for any city and regional planning engineers or whatever they. Yes, to Rabia, yes, you can apply. Research internship is not necessary, I would say. I have seen many people जिनकी ये पहली internship थी. So keep your skills and research interests aligned with what they are doing, and I think you're good to go.
So I think from Ali Heather, it's like a research oriented program. Like for me, it was development of a full stack web application. So they
Um,
will particularly align to your project with your background. So it's nothing to worry about.
Yes, for instance, I work in the IT department, so we have a, like I mentioned earlier, project called Zenodo. It's a EU funded project, so you can, it's open source, you can even find it on GitHub and contribute if you want to, which also helps in your application के if आपको कोई CERN के IT programs मिलते हैं, you have already contributed to it, तो आप application में mention कर दो, and if a supervisor sees that, then obviously they will consider you more. But yes, research oriented IT may you can find products and projects as well, so it's not very research oriented.
Yeah, about the research opportunities here locally is, I would say the few I look for is like 10%. They offer some opportunities, and then DevSync. These are only two programs that I know. First, for the Arbits of at least they uh, don't open registration for interns. So,
yes,
no.
and for research internships, I would say if you are really into research and seeking your research labs in your university is also a good option to explore, because generally industries offer development internships and they are not that much research oriented. And also to Ali Heather, if you are specifically looking for research opportunities, I would say to focus more on ETH and EPFL. Okay, CERN में, yes, there is research, but mostly they are applying research. Basically, उनका काम physics की research में ज़्यादा focused है. So for IT, I'm saying they usually do apply things. But yes, मैं research team का part था, and out of 31 OpenLab students, I think only 6 or 7 were purely in research, और बाकी सब development oriented positions थी.
Yes, for internships, I did a few research internships, but वो ये था कि आपकी university में just connect with your professors, so they have labs, they have projects. ना भी हो तो it's good. Like I know people जिन्होंने Google Summer of Code, do check it out. It's if you have that on your application, so you're among the top वैसे. तो ज़रूरी नहीं है. Research internship is not necessary. Just any internship in your field where you have actually acquired skills is necessary.
एक्चुअली सन में मशीन लर्निंग या एआई रिलेटेड प्रोजेक्ट्स जो हैं वो लिमिटेड हैं एज कंपेयर टू अदर प्रोजेक्ट्स, बट आई वुड से इफ यू आर रियली इनटू दोज प्रोजेक्ट्स, so it's better to have something on your GitHub profile, because they do ask for some of your implementation, and usually if they are hiring for some machine learning interns, they do interview, जो मैंने observe किया है, so it is better to have project, but there is no harm in applying anyways.
Yes, for IT people, if you want to do बहुत cutting edge काम के AI, ML, तो CERN is not a like specific place for that. Unless you're in electronics, electrical engineer वगैरह वगैरह, तो they have reactor detectors. उनके लिए यहाँ पे बहुत cutting edge काम है. For IT, अगर आपको specific उस domain में जाना है, तो not. I don't think CERN is the place.
Yeah, about awaiting the responses, you can apply for it, and you can like if you could not, if you don't want to go, you can just tell them. So, and then the about the thing that second year internship, I think I read it about the EDH or EPFL. Either of them you can apply after second year. But you can look for it. I think you will find some opportunities after applying for second year.
Yes, I think for EPFL it's after 6th semester, but for ETH, yes, you're right. It's you can apply there after your 2nd semester as well.
Also, there's one specific program that is not much highlighted, but मुझे अभी उसका पता लगा है, that is for people who have just done their high school diploma, FSC, A levels. उनकी एक दो पोस्ट आती हैं, वेरी रेयर, यू हैव टू लुक फॉर इट, बट कुछ लोग आ जाते हैं, वो भी 2-3 साल का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होता है. सो इट्स वेरी रेयर, बट अगर किसी ने नहीं किया हुआ तो यू शुड लुक फॉर इट. For reference letter, it's anyone who knows you कि आपके they can vouch for the work, your skills. वो उनको नहीं मैटर करता कि उस प्रोफेसर के गूगल स्कॉलर पे कितना एच इंडेक्स है. So anyone who can write a very good personalized letter for you. मेरी application in that sense was very बकवास. मैंने कोई लेटर मोटिवेशन रेफरेंसेस नहीं डाले थे, but that's because I had done lots of internships. तो मेरी उस लिहाज से CV was good, but you should not do that. Do get letter of references and good motivation letter.
So about focusing other than CV is like, I would say projects. They really look into it, that what kind of projects you have done, and so that's something you can use it to stand out.
Yes, Ali, Heather. Yes, you can get it from, can only illustrators. Any reference can work for your professor. Anyone who has supervised your work, be it your professor, your team lead, yeah, koi bhi, they can vouch for you, so you can get a reference letter from that. Also, another thing I mentioned, once you get into CERN, so it's very easy. If you're a summer student, next time to get in as a technical student. और अगर आप टेक्निकल स्टूडेंट रह चुके हो तो आई हैव सीन अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल जिनको टेक्निकल स्टूडेंटशिप के लास्ट फ्यू मंथ्स में ग्रेजुएट प्रोग्राम ऑफर हो जाता है, और उसके लास्ट फ्यू मंथ्स में स्टाफ मेंबरशिप ऑफर हो जाती है. तो देयर आर पीपल जो कि 10-15 साल से यहाँ पे इसी प्रोसेस से once came and they stayed here.
Kindly ask your questions. We have CERN internship alumni and also people who are working as a software engineer at CERN. So you can ask any question if you want. So we will wait 2 to 3 minutes, then we will end the meeting if you don't have any questions.
So about the projects, I would say that they should be related to your skill. Like if you have a strong skill in web development, then your project should be related to that. If you want to apply for artificial intelligence, you can have projects related to that. So it's the domain you are interested in, not particularly. They should not be like, it's not necessary for them to be related to work done at CERN. They could be only related to that particular domain.
For any advice you can give, I think, Rabia, I would say that like it's good to have good CGPA, but don't just focus on that. Like have internships, be part of societies, open source communities during your university, because it helped. It helped me even after coming here. So just be part of all those as well. सिर्फ into के बस good CGPA ले लो तो यहाँ पे बहुत कम है जिनका good CGPA है. Just कि आपने proper networking के साथ भी मैंने यहाँ लोगों को आते देखा है. They made good networks, references, and like open source so events होते हैं, be Google developers, everything. और हाँ, there are different conferences जिसमें आप being in Pakistan you can apply and you can get selected to those conferences while being a student. तो वो 4-5 दिनों के लिए आपको बुलाते हैं, fully funded, you go to those conferences, you just have to attend. लेकिन I think शुरू में you have to give some proposal or some motivation, but बहुत सी चीज़ें just keep on the lookout and hustle. बस इन्हीं 4 सालों में बाद में you can chill a bit. And if you're interested in CERN, do watch. I think it's a documentary, Particle Fever. मैंने नहीं देखी, but सब कहते हैं अच्छी है. So watch it.
So if anyone not have any question, we will end the meeting. So thank you everyone, Fatima, Zeeshan and Raiqa and all the participants to join us. Thank you so much.
थैंक यू ज़ीशान, फातिमा, राइका। मैं पर्सनली भी जो वो लोग करना चाहते थे। बहुत अच्छा आप लोगों ने सेशन कंडक्ट किया है एंड आई आल्सो फील रियली प्राउड कि मतलब जब इस टाइप की इंटरनेशनल इंटर्नशिप्स वगैरह में जो है वो पाकिस्तानी स्टूडेंट्स भी आके जो है वो पार्टिसिपेट करते हैं। एक टाइम होता था जब सिर्फ हम लोग देखते थे कि बाकी जो है वो बाहर के स्टूडेंट्स हैं या सारे इंडियंस अप्लाई कर रहे हैं, बट नाउ काफ़ी मतलब ट्रेंड चेंज हो रहा है। So thank you for giving such wonderful insights. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
For the participants, आप लोग को recording जो है वो मिल जाएगी और I think 9 PM भी होने वाला है, तो we'll just end this meeting and आप लोग को अगर कोई और question हुआ तो फातिमा, ज़ीशान, राइका, do you have like कोई प्रोफाइल वगैरह अगर किसी ने कुछ रिव्यू करवाना हुआ, are you guys comfortable कि अगर आप कुछ शेयर करना चाहते हैं?
Yes, I guess for me, just contact me on my LinkedIn. I can respond there.
Yeah, I think LinkedIn is fine for me as well. And I just want to highlight कि EPFL की बात हो रही थी, उसकी डेडलाइन कल है. So अगर अभी भी किसी के पास है, like you have to submit only your motivation letter and transcripts, I guess. There is no requirement for recommendation letter. I think just confirm it. But उसकी डेडलाइन कल है.
Thank you, ज़ीशान, mention करने के लिए.
And I think for the Max Planck Institute, also it's 3rd of December. So you have to look into it if you like satisfy the criteria. Just spend your night writing a recommendation or motivation letter. Sorry.
चलिए ठीक है, थैंक यू सो मच। फिर आई गेस जस्ट कॉल दिस मीटिंग। आप राबिया का लास्ट क्वेश्चन है, इफ एनीवन कैन आंसर, तो फिर उसके बाद हम लोग मीटिंग कॉल कर देते हैं।
Yeah, if you have participated in hackathons, oh, sorry, if you want. I was just going
No,
to say, just
just go ahead.
mention it. If you have done the hackathons and participated, then it's a good. And just also add the like link, GitHub link for the open source. If it's like, you can just add it, and it will be a good addition.
And yes, do mention that what was hackathon about. Like, what was your project and what technologies